And you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill.
Night of the living dead.
Between heaven and hell, from the unreal sheet. Carnival of Souls.
HUUHKAJAN YÖ. Suomenlinnan kauhuelokuvafestivaali. Lauantaina 1. marraskuuta.
So, a warm welcome everyone to the first HUUHKAJAN YÖ Night of the Eagle Owl, Suomenlinnan's own horror film festival. I'm Santeri Paju, a movie YouTuber, the organizer of this event and your host for the evening. The idea for this festival has been brewing about 3 years now, and this is the first time it is held. I've spent a lot of time working on these islands, and Suomenlinnan's atmosphere at night especially has always stuck with me. The dark events of recent history, the old buildings that still stand as reminders, have made Suomenlinna a perfect breeding for ghost stories, which locals and workers still tell each other today. Over the centuries, these islands have seen the Finnish War between Sweden and Russia in 1808 and 1809, the Viaporin Rebellion in 1906, and even served as a civil war prison camp in 1918. Unlike most of Helsinki, Suomenlinna has kept much of its old architecture intact, which definitely adds to its haunted reputation. Some of the better known local ghost stories includes the headless colonel Aino of Piipers Park and the hooded lantern men who wander the islands. There are also plenty of legends about ghost soldiers still roaming around, or people dressed in military uniforms because of the dark military history in the past of Suomenlinna. If you're wondering where the event's name comes from, HUUHKAJAN YÖ, Night of the Eagle Owl, there's actually a pair of eagle owls nesting in the dock right there, 100 meters from here. On a quiet night you can sometimes hear them calling to each other between their hunting trips. Hearing that might even remind you of the legendary Twin Peaks line, "The owls are not what they seem." So I think it's pretty clear why this place is a perfect setting for tonight's lineup of atmospheric horror classics. We've got 3 films on the program: House on Haunted Hill from 1959, Night of the Living Dead from 1968, and Carnival of Souls from 1962. There'll be short breaks about 15 to 30 minutes between each movie. All films here tonight are in English. House on Haunted Hill does not have subtitles, but Night of the Living Dead and Carnival of Souls both come with English subtitles. No Finnish subtitles, unfortunately, on the whole evening on any movie. So that's why I'm assuming everybody here understands English. A few practical stuff for tonight. Please keep your phones on silent or off during the screenings and avoid looking at them while the movie is playing. Absolutely no filming of the movies themselves whatsoever. Restrooms are in the lobby. They are both unisex, and the right one is Inva toilet also. The 3 top rows of this place has a little bit of a näköeste. This bar comes into the frame, so if you decide to be there, I'm sorry for that, but we also have places here in the front. We made a few seats more. There's also a coat rack in the lobby. You can leave your jacket there at your own risk. Unfortunately, neither I nor the staff are responsible for the lost items. There will, however, always be one staff member on duty in the lobby during each screening. You can ask them anything about the event or whatever you have questions. In total, there are 4 of us working here tonight. You'll recognize us by staff passes hanging around our necks. Besides me, there's Pekka, who's currently in the lobby. Pekka, tuutko sanoa moi? Toni here sitting down, and Sebastian behind the camera. If you're wondering why we're shooting, we're filming some documentary-style footage for a YouTube video throughout the evening. After the screenings, I'd love to chat a few of you about your thoughts and reactions to the films. But if you do not want to be interviewed or appear on camera, just let us know. No hard feelings. And that footage will not be used in any video. That's pretty much all about the introduction of the event. I will continue introducing the first film of the night. House on Haunted Hill is made on 1959. The film's director, William Castle, made quite a name for himself in the 50s and 60s with his wild horror movies. What he lacked in budget, he made up with pure creativity and his famous gimmicks, and of course the unstoppable energy of a true showman. House on Haunted Hill is easily Castle's most famous and beloved films. Some of his other hits include The Tingler and 13 Ghosts. The special effects gimmick for this one was called Emergo. It was like a wild promotional trick where a plastic skeleton, almost like the one you see here, would literally fly over the audience's heads during the screening, during the key moments of the film. They pulled it off with some sort of a pulley system that sent the glowing skeleton, like I said, from the front of the theater to the back. That guaranteed screams and laughter. You'll probably recognize the scene in question in the movie while it's playing. Sadly, we won't be able to recreate that moment of Emergo tonight. My wife was kind enough to buy me a skeleton from Normal, but we couldn't even put these things. We couldn't figure out how to put them together, so it rests on the table unless there's some magic involved here tonight. So. But hey, the film stars legendary horror icon Vincent Price. He made dozens of films in his career. If you don't know his face, you definitely know his voice, as he was famously appeared in Michael Jackson's song Thriller, in the interlude part about darkness followed across the lands, midnight hour in plosive hands. You know the drill. This story follows an eccentric millionaire played by Price who invites 5 strangers to spend the night in a haunted house for a cash reward, of course. You could easily see his character as sort of an alter ego for the equally eccentric director Castle himself. But beneath all the fun and camp this movie provides, it actually slips in some surprisingly thoughtful ideas about ghosts and what it really means to be haunted. The mansion of the movie is the famous Ennis house in Los Angeles, which has been featured in tons of films since, most famously in Blade Runner, Black Rain and Mulholland Drive. Unfortunately, we got this copy from Internet Archive. It's a copyright-free movie to show our aspect ratio with this not that great of a system is made more to the films that follow Carnival of Souls and Night of the Living Dead. This is a little bit more wider range, so you will see some of it like going to the wall. Some characters will appear from the wall to the movie, but we looked upon it and we decided it will be too much of a hassle to put in a short notice this ancient projector, so I hope you don't mind. I didn't think it looks like crap, but it's not ideal, but it works. A quick heads up for anyone with sensitive ears. This movie kicks off with a blood blood-curdling scream at full volume. But don't worry, the rest of the film isn't that loud, unless the scream comes from you. Enjoy the movie.
I'm Vincent Price, and you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill, where so far the ghosts have murdered only 7 people. So won't you come and make it 8? You'll see human heads without bodies. Mysterious pools of blood dripping from the ceiling. The walls move slowly in against you. Don't try to escape, you can't. You ready, dear?
No.
Are you ready, dear?
Yes, damn you.
The ghosts are waiting, so won't you join me in the house on Haunted Hill? Hurry, or you'll be late for your own funeral.
Mitäs mieltä olit?
Oli se aika mielenkiintoinen ja mielenpainuva.
Okei.
Oli ainakin mun mielestä. Ja jossain kohtaa oli vähän elottaviakin kohtia, mutta yritin olla tyylinen ja ei. Mua aika vähän elotti, mutta kyllä mä muuten pystyin.
Okei, joo. Saako sua haastatella, mitä olit mieltä? Mitä olit mieltä leffasta?
Aika kiva ja vähän äkkeniä pitää on kunnon elämä. Mulla ei riitä yhden, ei 2 leffaa, mutta tää on ihan hyvä.
Noniin.
Tää on hot.
Noniin, hyvä kuulla. Kiitos paljon haastattelusta.
Onnepä hyvä.
And now we get to our second movie of the evening, Night of the Living Dead, which is probably our most bona fide classic of the night. And we're also stepping into slightly darker, more serious territory from the previous House on Haunted Hill. Night of the Living Dead is George A. Romero's debut film, and it's the defining zombie movie. The one that shaped what zombies are in pop culture today. In short, it's about a group of strangers barricading themselves inside a house to survive an outbreak of the dead, mysteriously coming back to life, only to realize the real danger might be the people inside with them. Before Romero, movie zombies were mostly tied to Caribbean folklore and voodoo myths, but Night of the Living Dead completely rewrote those rules. Get bitten by a zombie, you turn into one. The only way to kill them is to shot to the head. And of course, zombies eat human flesh. Romero's inspiration for his undead wasn't folk tales, but Richard Matheson's novel I Am Legend from 1954, which I highly recommend to you to read. It's a great book. The film was made on a shoestring budget but became a massive hit, inspiring countless imitators and spawning 2 acclaimed sequels, Dawn of the Dead in 1978 and Day of the Dead 1985. Well, it actually spawned a sequel trilogy in the 2000s, but less said the better. Night of the Living Dead remains a timeless classic, not just a cornerstone of zombie cinema, but also a sharp reflection of its era, which is a big part of why it still hits so hard. Back in 1968, audiences found its violence shockingly brutal, especially the infamous scene where a zombified daughter eats her own mother. It also showed a world where government is completely powerless against chaos, a theme that hit hard during the Vietnam War and the rise of conspiracy culture. The lead actor of the movie, Dwayne Jones, was a black actor playing a role that wasn't written with a race in mind. Something almost unheard of at the time. The film's grim ending has led many to see it as a comment on civil rights movement and the racist backlash surrounding it. However you read it, this is a ground zero for zombie mythology, as we know it, a bold, graphic nightmare about external threats and how humanity's worst monster might just be itself. It's a horror with razor-sharp social commentary. Enjoy the film.
Welcome to a night of total terror. Night of the living dead, the dead who live on living flesh. The dead whose haunted souls hunt the living whose bodies are the only food for these ungodly creatures. Night of the living dead. A bizarre adventure in fear. An experience in shock, more shattering than your strangest nightmare. Night of the living dead. A night with the dead who cannot die. A night of total terror. Night. Of the living dead.
Mitkä on päällimmäiset fiilikset Night of the Living Deadistä?
Se elokuva oli kyllä kestänyt aikaa yllättävän hyvin, että siis odotin jotain vähemmän pelottavaa, mutta siellä oli ihan toimivia jumpscareja kyllä seassa.
Mikä siinä oli erityisesti sun mielestä aikaa kestävää?
No jotenkin se niin tavallaan se, kun nykyaikaisissa zombileffoissa yleensä aina ne lukittautuu johonkin sisätiloihin ja sitten siellä on niitä ihmisten välisiä konflikteja ja sitä, että miten ne tavallaan yrittää, osa selviytyä siellä sisällä ja sitten tavallaan se, että päätös siitä, että lähdetäänkö pakoon vai lukittaudutaanko sinne sisälle, niin se on niin kuin nykypäivän zombileffoista tuttu, niin se oli jotenkin hauskaa nähdä, että se on niin kuin 60-luvullakin ollut samalla tavalla.
Oletko ennen nähnyt elokuvaa?
En ollut ennen nähnyt elokuvaa. Joo. Tykkäsin.
Se vaan yllättää aina, miten hyvä se on. Ja nyt täytyy sanoa, että tuo ihme Dungeoni, missä katsottiin, oli tosi tunnelmainen. Niin kuin harras tunnelma.
Kiitos. Joo, se ei ole ehkä siihen tehty, mutta se sopii ihan yllättävän hyvin tähän kyllä. Että, onko Night of the Living Dead sulle?
On siis leffa? Mä katsoin sen lapsena tuolta niinku kaapeli-TVltä. Silloin kun mä luulin, että kaikki mustavalkoiset leffat on niinku safeja, että ne on harmittomia.
Joo.
Sitä aloin katsoa tätä, se äänimaisema, kaikki on semmoista niinku tyypillistä 50-lukuista. Sitten yhtäkkiä se alkaa niinku, toimia ja yhtäkkiä se pelotti oikeasti.
All right, folks, it's time for our third and final movie of the night, which is Carnival of Souls from the year 1962. Before we roll the film, I just want to thank everyone for being here. It's been awesome having you all, and it's been a lot more successful festival than I thought I thought we were going to show for 5 people in each screening, but it's a big pleasure to have it this way. There's a good chance that this event will return in the future, though it's still a bit uncertain for now. But at the moment, me and the Suomenlinnan governing body, Suomenlinnan hoitokunta, definitely want to make it happen again. After the movie, if anyone's up for sharing a few thoughts or reactions of the movie on camera, we'd love to catch them for the documentary. But no, if you don't want to be on video, don't worry, you will not be featured if you say no. That's very clear. And the documentary video about this evening will be released soon in a couple of weeks in YouTube channel Santeri Paju. When you head out, please make sure you got all of your stuff with you and toss the trash in the bins. For example, there's one bin right there. The next ferry back to Helsinki after the movie will be at 11 p.m. This movie will end around 10:20. Most of Kekri program here on the islands will be wrapping up by then. I believe Linna Bar will serve up until 1 a.m. but only drinks. And now let's get to the final film of the night, which is my personal favorite of the three. Carnival of Souls was the one and only feature film directed by Herc Harvey, who otherwise worked in educational films. When it first came out, it didn't make much of a splash and pretty much vanished into obscurity for decades. In a weird way, this movie was still screened in Finland, which it got even a Finnish name, Helvetilliset, the hellish ones, which is a bit different than the original one. And there's this one filmmaker in Finland called Ismo Sajakorpi, who used to work as assistant in a film archive of Finland and saw the movie back then when it was released, and then he made like an hour-long feature in the 80s called Yöjuttu merkitty, which is a loose remake or a sort of a rip-off of this movie, but they're going to show it in Kino Regina in the next winter. I guess it was in January. If you like the movie, this one I highly recommend also, Yöjuttu merkitty. It's a Finnish interpretation of the same story. But Carnival of Souls Renaissance began in 1989 when it was started screening at film festivals around the world. Since then, it's been praised for its expressionistic visuals and its eerie, dreamlike vibe, that's unsettling sense that something's off in the world. The story follows a woman who survives a car accident and moves to a small town where things just don't feel quite right. A tall, ghostly man keeps appearing to her, and she finds herself strangely drawn to an abandoned carnival. Compared to the previous films tonight, this one's got a completely different mood, so adjust your viewing mindset a bit. House on Haunted Hill was cheeky and playful to a degree, and Night of the Living Dead was grim and graphic, but Carnival of Souls is pure nighttime energy, dream logic through and through. It's best watched not by following a clear cause and effect story, but by letting it wash over you like a stream of consciousness, the way you might experience a dream. You could call it art horror, but don't worry, it's not a difficult film to follow per se. It just rewards anyone willing to sink into its strange hypnotic world. Thank you all and enjoy the movie.
Hey, you want to drive, huh? Rev it up.
Action you've never seen races across your screen as you thrill to a new dimension in picture making. Carnival of Souls. This is the shocking story of a who crawled from the river to race through a nightmare, walking a tightrope between heaven and hell. From the unreal, she crashes through to reality. But try as she will to lead a normal life, she is torn from her goal. There's no privacy in a life she's ever watched, tormented. Either it's her neighbor, desirous of her physically, watching her with his leering eye, or it's the evil eye of the man who taunts her, the man who wants her. From the bottom of the river they come. They reach for her. They demand that she dance with them at the Carnival of Souls. She is a girl driven mad by the relentless forces of the beyond. He will not relent as he comes for her again and again. She whirls between the real and the unreal, trying to cling to life.
I like being with you, really I do. I don't want to be alone tonight. I want to be near you.
Honey, you don't want to go in there all by yourself, do you?
But she must watch herself in death. She must dance at the Carnival of Souls held just for her. For they have come for her for the last time, claiming her as one of their own. Carnival of Souls arouses such emotion that the management has been forced to state positively no refunds. Carnival of Souls is the shocker of all time, guaranteed to sweep you into a new dimension of picture making. You can't afford to miss Carnival of Souls.
Ensi fiilikset Carnival of Soulsista.
Oikein vaikuttavaa, tällainen surrealistinen, tuollaisia metafyysisiä teemoja oli siinä paljon ja mun mielestä just tommoinen surrealistinen tyyli kuuluu noiden teemojen käsittelyyn ja joo. Siinä oli sitten hyvin tuo kirkko ja sitten tuo lääkäri, vaikka sanoo se ei ole psykologi, mutta mä tulkitsin sen jotenkin psykologiksi ja ensimmäinen kerta kun näin leffan, että jäi kyllä mieleen silleen, että varmasti tulen katsomaan uudestaankin.
Mitä fiiliksiä Carnival of Souls herätti?
No aika hyviä fiiliksiä, semmoisia, että todellisuuksia voi olla erilaisia ja sitten voi olla niinku semmoista niinku tunnelmaa-elämää, joka on myöskin läsnä tässä meidän elossa. Joo. Semmoinen fiilis mulle tuli. Joo. Ja sitten, että sen osa ihmistä havaitsee sen ja osa ei. Joo. Ja se oli myöskin aika niinku visuaalisesti kaunis ja tosi seestinen. Se on tosi rauhallinen elokuva. Vähän niin kuin kuvasitkin, että hän olisi niinku unessa tai näin.
Koit sä pelottavana sitä?
Ei se millään tavalla ollut pelottava. Sehän oli semmoinen niinku ne kuolleet niinku sielut, niin ne oli semmoisia aika lempeitä ja leikkisiä. Ne halusi vaan niinku seuraa mun mielestä.
Joo. Saako sulta kysyä, mitä fiiliksiä herätti?
No siis mun mielestä tämä oli tosi kaunis elokuva ja siis tosi unenomainen ja tykkäsin tosi paljon ja siis mun mielestä ne kuolleet ei varsinaisesti ollut niinku pelottavia, että mun mielestä ne enemmän yritti niinku viestiä sille naiselle, että hänen kuuluu heidän joukkoonsa ja että hänen pitäisi liittyä sinne ja sen takia se huvipuistoalue veti sitä naista puoleensa, koska hän niinku tietyllä tapaa kai aisti, että hän kuuluu siihen maailmaan jo.
Tosi hieno vanha elokuva. Oli makeat miljööt ja hauskat efektit ja se oli tosi hieno se niin kuin kauhun kohderakennus.
Joo.
Tuli hyviä vanhoja viboja.
Entä sulle?
Joo. Oli aika hyytävä. Se ei ollut niinku silleen semmoisella tavallisella tavalla pelottava, vaan jotenkin silleen ahdistavan pelottava.
Osaatko sanallistaa, mikä siitä teki hyytävän varsinaisesti?
No ehkä se, että ei itsekään ihan ymmärtänyt, mitä siellä naiselle tapahtuu ja oli kauhea katsoa, kun sekään ei tajunnut, mitä tapahtuu, mitä sille tapahtuu. Niin joku siinä jotenkin pelotti.
Hienoa olla katsomassa. Ihanaa, että tämmöisiä elokuvia pyöritetään täällä.
Joo, kiitos paljon kun tulitte.
Kiitos.
No niin, meidän kameramieskin pääsi haastatteluun. Sä kävit katsoa viimeisen leffan Carnival of Souls, eli helvetilliset. Mitkä fiilikset jäi?
Joo, siis ihan hyvä. En ole ennen nähnyt. Aika semmoinen aavemainen ja semmoinen niinku, siinä kesti vähän aikaa ennen kuin rupesi tajumaan sitä, että mistä tässä on kyse. Joo. Mä kanssa aika nopea hiffasin sen, että se nainen on kuollut siinä onnettomuudessa.
Jep.
Ja se niinku sit vaan jatkaa sitä elämää jotenkin.
Tuossa oli muutamia vähän erilaisia kokemuksia jengiltä. Koet sä, että toi leffa olisi pelottava tai hyytävä tai jotenkin sellainen?
Siinä tuli pari semmoista jumpscarea, mikä niinku, en tiedä sitten, että oliko ne tarpeellisia sen leffan takia. Niin kuin mutta en mä silleen kokenut, että se esimerkiksi se loppukuvaus, tai kohtaus, kun se on siellä karnevaalissa, että se olisi niinku hyytävä tai pelottava.
Joo. Cool. So Stella, you went to see Night of the Living Dead and Carnival of Souls, correct?
Yes.
Okay, what's your first opinion about Night of the Living Dead first?
Well, it's a pretty classic, so of course I'm going to come to watch it, but it's different since I've seen it the first time. Now I notice that it's a little bit more dark, so initially a bit raw the end too, but it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. What did you think of Carnival of Souls?
It was a very good movie too. I like it a lot. I think it was my favorite of all.
Why it was your favorite?
Because it was like a bit dark theme, and like the way that the subject of the thing, like kind of ghost, but you are not sure what is going on, or I don't know, like it's not like this very repetitive subject in other movies, so that's why I like it.
Didn't feel formulaic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Did you find Carnival of Souls scary or not?
It's scary, but not like the very conventional way. It's different scary, like more like a thriller or more psychological. Because you are just the whole time thinking what's going on there.
Exactly, yeah. No niin, meillä on illan viimeisessä haastattelussa meidän sali- ja tekniikka vastaava Toni. Sä kävit kattoo 2 leffaa, oliks?
Kyllä, House on Haunted Hill, eli se ensimmäinen ja sitten toi viimeinen, eli Carnival of Souls.
Olit sä nähnyt kumpaakaan?
En ollut kumpaakaan nähnyt aikaisemmin, että oli mielenkiintoinen ensikatselukokemus tämmöisessä ympäristössä. Toi kyllä paljon lisää vielä.
Heitä vähän jotain kommenttia siitä House on Haunted Hillistä eka.
No se oli ihan mielenkiintoinen. Ei ehkä ihan mun kuppiteetä silleen niin kuin perinteisessä mielessä, mutta se vähän paljastui tommoseksi, niin kuin, ei ollutkaan kummituskauhua loppupeleissä, vaan se oli vähän tämmöinen murhamysteeri, missä sitten, että silleen ihan toimiva tarina, että silleen viihdytti kyllä koko kestoajan ja olihan se hienosti tehty ja semmoista hyviä ja muistettavia hahmoja siinä useampia. Että.
Mulle siinä on siinä leffassa jäänyt aina mieleen se, kun se äijä sanoi siinä lopussa, että eikö kummituksia ole oikeasti olemassa, kun te kerran uskoittekin niihin jo tässä kohtaa.
Niin,
oliko se sun mielestä yhtään oivaltava tai oliko siinä mitään järkeä sun mielestä?
No, ei siinä sillä järkeä. Ja se, mun mielestä se nivos sen hienosti sen leffan siihen loppuun. Että oliko niin, että onko ne kummitukset sitten vaan just meidän pään sisällä vai?
Niin.
Että ihan toimiva leffa kyllä.
No mites tuo Carnival of Souls, mitkä siitä jäi ensin?
No siitä mä dikkasin aika paljonkin enemmän kuin tuosta House on Haunted Hillistä, että mä oon aina viehättynyt tuommoisista unenomaisista leffoista, ja toihan oli just sitä, että ei se ehkä nyt silleen siinä mielessä pelottava ollut, mutta kyllä se toi jollain lailla semmoinen haunting oli kuitenkin se koko ajan se fiilis, ja se vaan kasvoi, mitä pidemmälle se leffa meni. Et toki tuosta loppukäänteestä nyt olin spoilaantunut jo aikoja sitten etukäteen, ja kyllä mä sen luulen, että olisin arvannut sen joka tapauksessa, mutta ei se kyllä yhtään sen tehoa vienyt pois siitä. Ja visuaalisesti oli mun mielestä tosi nätti, että ihan pelkästään kuvien puolesta niin oli tosi siisti nähdä se isot kankaat.
Tuossa tuli vähän erilaisia mielipiteitä tuossa, kun kyseli yleisöltä siitä, että kokiko tuo elokuvan pelottavana vai ei.
Niin.
Miten sä koit?
No en mä sitä silleen ehkä perinteisessä mielessä pelottavana kokenut. Että kyllä siinä vähän oli semmoinen uneasy fiilis, mutta kuitenkin semmoinen magneettinen tunnelma siinä oli. Vaikka ei ehkä pelottava mun mielestä, mutta kyllä tunnelma ja visuaalinen ilmiö on mun mielestä leffan nämä parhaimmat jutut. Mielelläni katon kyllä uudestaankin joskus.
Onko sulla mitään lisättävää vielä tähän loppuun?
Eipä. Toivottavasti järjestetään ensi vuonna tämmöinen. Tämä oli kyllä erittäin hauska kokemus ja tunnelmainen paikka katsella tämmöisiä kauhuleffoja.
And you're invited to my party in the house on Haunted Hill,